feel like we talk about the weather all the time, but and I'm sure, in 2 weeks we could have 4 inches of snow. I mean, that's really how it could go, couldn't it here? So it's just that when you do what we do, we like to be able to put those things on and not feel like we're in a sweat box. So happy Friday, happy Husker Huddle day. I'm huddling from home, as homecoming weekend is always the tradition for my sorority sisters to come back to Lincoln. And so we have done it for years and years and years and years. And so they will be arriving here within about the hour, and it will be a full weekend of fun, pretending like we're in college again, which will mean that next week I'll have to rest for 5 days, I'm sure. But it's always just, it's just always, you always have to make an effort to get connected and stay connected, whether it's family or friends. And it's really easy to just put that kind of stuff off, and kind of same way with our connecting this way too. I'm really glad you guys make the commitment to be with us on Fridays and just see you and see what you're working on and connect. And we've got a great topic today. We're going to talk about the Yarn Guild that's here in Lincoln, and it's a national organization. So for some of you that are not around, it might be something that you could connect with. So let's talk about how your Husker scarf's going. Got a little show and tell? Let's see. Show and tell, and then Karen will take your question. Okay, Anne, very good. Beth, Sarah, Diana, Sarah Gilbert, very good. Everybody who started on today. Who's catching up? Okay, we're getting there. Karen, did you have a question?
I did have a question, Angie. This morning, all I've done thus far is print. I always print not only your email, but then the written and the chart. This is probably a very minor concern of mine. In your email, the picture of this week doesn't seem to be the same as, okay, just again, I haven't stitched anything. I just looked at a picture.
Yes, you are right. We try to do a week ahead. And so and then we cut and paste and copy. So I appreciate knowing that. So yes, thank you. Your picture that's on your, we'll put that in our Ravelry group. Your picture that's on the pattern is on the pattern. So it is is it the wrong one? No, it's the right one. It's the diamond. The thing about this project is it's really hard to picture these. I just cannot get a very good picture. In our other ones, we've been able to, and I think maybe because it's solid, with the knits and the pearls, but I'm not very pleased with the photos at all. I wanted to use the cream ones, but then they don't show up very good at all. So we're kind of lumping along a bit with those photos. So I appreciate knowing that. But this week is the diamond. So this week is your center that you would wear in the back, or if you put it in the front, you would wear it around. It comes up and it's not symmetrical. So don't go, I did 7 stitches. And when I'm going back down, I'm doing 6 stitches. Okay, don't worry about that. Just do each row as they come. And so far, the test knitting, all my test knitters have come back and said it works. So I'm going to say that it works.
Yes, I'd like 2 soft shell tacos, please.
Oh, 2 soft tacos. Sounds good. I'll take a soft taco. You might want to put yourself on mute. I'll put you on mute. There you go. That's good. We know people are plugging in even when they're in the car. That's great. A couple of other things that folks, as people come in with challenges, it's because they're not paying attention to right side, wrong side. And again, one of the beauties of this piece was that we wanted it to be kind of reversible. So, lots of times in our knitting, we put it on and then we can see the back side of it. So this one, when you wrap it around and wear it, it kind of looks good on both sides. But that does make a challenge for knitting it, doesn't it? Because sometimes it's like, oh, what am I on, Anne?
Yeah, I have a question too. It's like and I just looked at this for week 6, and I don't do charts a lot, Angie, so forget, but it looks to me like we actually, instead of knitting to the last 3 stitches, we should be purling on row 1.
I don't have the pattern in front of me, so
Okay.
I'm going to have you. I didn't bring it home, so you guys are going to have to look at that to tell me if
Maybe
that's
because it's like you'd get 2 more rows of knit instead for the transition instead of the bumps.
that may be true, Anne. That may be
Oh.
true.
Okay, but it looks to me like the chart says it's right, because that's the right side, so it would be purling.
Mhm.
I think those may be turned around
In the chart or in the instructions?
in the instructions. I think the chart to me makes sense. Maybe it
Okay.
may just be me. I'm
Okay.
easily
I'm gonna.
confused.
All right. Does anybody have it
I was
there?
gonna say, has anybody started on it? Oh, Diane, maybe.
Diane.
You know what? I haven't had a chance to look
Okay.
at it yet. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're counting on you, Diane. You're the get it
Okay.
done girl.
You know what? I'll look at it and put a little note if I think
Okay,
it begins a pearl I'll put it in the Ravelry note group.
Okay.
thank you.
Mhm.
Angie, it looked okay to me. It looks like it is just the 3, the original, maybe she was looking at chart B instead of chart A.
Oh, that could
might
be.
Because
Oh.
chart
That's entirely
B
possible.
starts on a wrong side
Oh, there we go.
on row 32.
No, it's chart A that I'm looking at.
It
Row
looks like
1.
it's-
You have
it-
that, Sarah? Maybe
Yeah, chart A, it says knit, or it's the chart for the right side, so it's blank, so that's a knit stitch.
Oh,
and
I
then
am
at the
looking
end
at
of
something
it-
wrong.
It's slip 3 across with the yarn in front.
Yeah,
And then the next row,
right. It starts with knit 3.
oh, it does,
And then purl, correct?
knit 3.
Yes, it does.
And then on the opposite side, it would be your knit rows. It looks like a purl, but it's switched around because it's wrong
Right.
side. So that would be 3 knits, and it's knit across for row 2. Is that the one you're talking about?
Okay, so I'm looking at row 1, all righty, and it has the 3 blanks, right? Which is
Mhm,
knit
that's knit,
on the
which is
right side. And then it has black dots in the next one, so that's purl, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
but the instructions say knit 3 and knit to last 3.
That's the transition section.
Oh, that's it. Thank you, because the transition
welcome.
section isn't charted. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
So it is, so instead of having the bumpies, you have
Flat.
it's knit flat.
Yeah.
Okay, in the transition. I
Yep,
think I
you
was
got
ready
it.
for it to, okay, thank you. That's
You're
it.
welcome.
This is fabulous.
Bless you.
To see you guys
Yeah.
solve it all yourself. That's fabulous.
Yeah, that's right. You're right, Sarah.
Okay.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Diana, were you going to say something? That's what you were going to say. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay. All right. Hey, we got that solved.
Good, thank you.
Fabulous. It's good. And that was the other point then, to look back at the chart. So other folks have come in and they've gotten off, and I know charts, some people are either chart people or you're not chart folks. And so, but it is kind of a second reference to look at it and say, even visually to look down at it and to say, hey, this diamond is growing. But it is a flat piece. So on the right side, your bumps create the diamond pattern. So this isn't going to be a pattern that's going to be like relaxing because it's like 6, 7, 5, 4, it builds, but it is fun to see it build. Next week is very rhythmic. So we'll give you next week is a rhythmic, and you see the picture of next week because that was in the email. So very good. Any other things? Are you loving the yarn? Loving, yeah, nice stuff. Has anybody steamed it yet?
Yeah,
No?
it
Okay,
steams. It steams really nice, and the yarn is beautiful. Great stitch definition. I
I
really
know.
liked it, and feels wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of the things we really like about it too. And Jessica just brought in some new fall colors of the DK clover. We carry it all the time. Great for hats, great for any DK, and you can even do DK socks out of this yarn because it's 20% nylon. So they would make great DK socks. Cheryl, you've made your socks out of it, haven't you, for your son?
Yes, I made a pair of socks, knee highs out of that DK, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful. Thank goodness it was DK. But I loved it.
And have you given them to him, and does he like them? Have you given
I
them
have
to him?
not given them to him. I'm gonna give it to him this weekend, but he saw them and tried them on to make sure the toe was gonna be correct before I kitchenered. And it's a good thing I did because I had to add a row. And
Okay.
so, but he really likes them and he's anxious to wear them.
Great, great,
So-
great. Sarah, have you made DK socks with this? No. Sarah Burden?
I
No.
have not. I've done worsted, but not
Okay.
the DK in Jessica's.
All right. All right. And that cute little Nebraska hat, Husker hat in the Iowa, Nebraska nomadic knits is done. And they commissioned Jessica for this yarn. So when they do those books, they like to work with the local dyers. So you can do all kinds of things, all kinds of combos. And that's a really fun little hat to make. And we still have some of the copies of the book on hand as well. So I am rubbing my hands because I'm using the salve from the little pumpkin kit. And you ought to just buy the pumpkin kit for the salve. It is as lovely as can be. It's coconut oil, beeswax, lavender, and essential oil, and that's it. And it's super, super nice. So if you saw our little pumpkin kits, they're really darling. Be a neat little gift for a new knitter, you know, if you wanted to give them an all complete kit. And bet it's got a little rattle in it. All your grandbabies, you could put that rattle in your pumpkin and do it. So, all right. Well, we're going to introduce Sarah. And Sarah Burden is the secretary of the Lincoln Guild, Yarn Guild, knitting. What's the official name?
Yarn Guild of Lincoln.
Yarn Guild of Lincoln. And I know Diana is a member as well. And I just think it's fun to learn about communities. And as I was visiting with Sarah before, you know, people move. Like Anne, you moved. And then you want to find your knitting people. You want to find your tribe of people that you share that common thing. And knitters like together. That's what's kind of been hard about the pandemic, is that we do like together. So thankful for Zoom. But I thought it would be good to just learn about what we have in Lincoln, and then that applies around the country. So Sarah, tell us a little bit. Tell us about yourself. How long have you been knitting, and how did you get started in the Guild?
I've been knitting for about, close to 15 years. When I became a stay-at-home mom, we were trying for a little one and I needed something to keep my hands busy. So I took a couple classes and just loved it and took off with it. I kind of took a pause when I had the little babies. We had one who's 6, and then 13 months later, well, she's 6 now, but we had one, and then 13 months later, we had Michael Felix. So I have my twins. And so I took some time off and got back into knitting. And I was looking for a sense of community, and actually my drive was charity. I wanted to do some community charity work, and a couple of knitters that I had known had mentioned the Guild. And so I went to a meeting and I thought, hey, this is really cool. And I joined about 2 years ago. And yeah, I've been the secretary of the Guild for a little over a year now, I believe. So I'm the secretary. Diana is one of the executives as well. She's our treasurer. She does a good job. making sure all our members are in line. And if you have any questions about things like that, she's a great resource. She's also a fantastic knitter and crocheter. She's helping me with that. So then we have Becky, our president. She's not doing the Husker knit along, but I'm sure you've seen her in socks, or she's around KPS quite a bit too. And Beth is our vice president. So that's the executive committee of the Guild. And so we have lots of different interest groups and focus. We have about 25 members. And as Angie has said, we've had some that have moved away or gone to different stages, focusing on different parts of their life, and so they don't join. But then we've also had new ones come in. Young kids coming out of college have joined in. We've had people that have moved back into town. And so people just looking for community to knit. And through the pandemic, we learned how to become more virtual. And so that kind of was our gathering to keep us through. We meet every Tuesday evening, or we met every Tuesday evening. Come yarn with us at 6:30. And over the summer, we would meet outdoors where it was safe at Holmes Lake. And we called it yarning with our homies at Holmes Lake. And we would get together and talk about projects, do community charity work. Every year, the members vote on a local charity, and that is our focus through the year. And this year happened to be Fresh Start. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with Fresh Start. And through
Some
Angie's
are
work,
out of town folks might not.
I'm sorry.
know, Sarah. Yeah.
It helps women that are dealing with homelessness. It helps get them on their feet, whether it's a domestic situation, rehabilitation, all walks of life. And it helps them relocate, how to support themselves. And it's an amazing program. And they had a very long list of needs. And so we kind of broke it into features to make sure that we could fulfill their list. And so we had like home goods and spa goods and wearables. And it was really neat. Audrey, the liaison between us and the Fresh Guild Start, she took the hats and she's going to give them as Christmas gifts. And the kitchen towels, even after they move out, they get to check up on them and make sure they're still on their feet, not just floundering. And so she brings little gifts to them, and the kitchen towels were kind of their welcome to their new home and how are you doing? So that was really, really inspiring to meet with her this last September meeting and see how they enjoyed the projects. But that's one of the things we do. We do still meet Come Yarn with Us on Tuesdays, but as the winter and shorter days, we ran out of sunshine and warmth. So the first Tuesday of every month, we meet at an in-person, and then the third will be on Facebook Messenger. To find out about our guild, we have a Facebook page and a Ravelry page called the Yarn Guild of Lincoln. And we have a lot of members that have moved out. That's how they stay in touch. They can see, that's where we post all of our events. That's the latest to get the most update information about the guild is our Facebook page. We have about 180 members on that page. Through the guild, we are associated, or we have a membership through the Knitting Guild of America and the Crocheters Guild of America. And so if you do choose to be a member of the guild, you get access to all of their magazines and lessons and signups for those. So that's kind of cool. It's free to come to our Come Yarn with Us events or our meetings. Those are all, but if you're interested in membership, you can reach out to us. It's a pretty minimal annual fee. And then there's some exclusive things, like we've been doing this year, a fun thing for our members. We've been doing the yarn crawl. So we've been visiting different yarn shops across Nebraska. And this Saturday, or our meetings are the second Saturday of every month. And we will be visiting the Lincoln yarn shops. So we're very excited to come see KPS and do lots of shopping. But yes, let's try to think. We've done a yarn dyeing event where our members get together and we dye yarn out of Kool-Aid, with Kool-Aid, not out of Kool-Aid, but with Kool-Aid. And it's really fun to see different color schemes that we come up with or different techniques. Sometimes we do the sprinkles. I don't think anyone's mastered self-striping yet, but hopefully we'll get there someday. We do make-alongs right now. Our members are doing Here We Come a Coweling, where we have secret sisters, and we are making a cowl to a sister that we were given, and we will exchange those for November for our end of the year. So that's kind of a fun little thing.
How nice.
So yes, does anybody have any questions or?
So Sarah, do you ever have speakers or programs or for your meetings? Okay.
Sure. That's a great question. We do have, we have workshops where we teach different skills. This year we were teaching knitting and crochet, and we have a committee that comes up with the lessons and teaches them. We've learned things like how to repurpose a sweater and pull it out and wash your yarn and prepare it to make another one. We have talked about speakers for our plans for 2022, hiring in maybe someone to do yarn dyeing techniques or how to work with color work. We've had a few people that we've been in contact with about that. So we do get some speakers. And new skills, and it's a very friendly bunch. We just hang out, and right now one of our members is teaching the ladies how to do Tunisian crochet. So it's just, you never know what you get. Each year something comes through that people are interested in.
So we would find you on a it's called the Yarn Guild Lincoln.
Yarn Guild of Lincoln, yes.
On
Yarn Guild
Facebook.
of Lincoln is on Facebook. We also have a Ravelry page, but we don't post as much on that one, just our monthly happenings. We do have an email account if you'd like to email any questions. It's yarn.guild.of.lincoln@gmail.com.
These darn emails.
I know.
And so if I wanted to find nationally, what was the national organization? I imagine we could Google it and they might have.
It is the Knitting Guild of, I think it's
America.
TGA.
I think
The
it's
Knitting Guild of America and Crochet Guild of America. Is that right, Diana? Did I say that right?
Have you found it there, Anne, in Massachusetts at all?
Yeah, we have a Metro West guild, and then Boston has a guild. And I was familiar with the guild, the Knitting Guild of America. But yeah, the TKGA, I think. Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
TKGA.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about it this morning at our knitting group. So yeah.
How fun. How fun. So you can contact Sarah or Diana or anyone. We have cards in the shop that has all their contact information on it as well. So if you're interested in being added to their Facebook group, and then I think your membership is what, 25? Is that?
Yes, it's 25 a year.
Very reasonable. So yeah. So they do some really fun little things. I love their charity work, and looking forward to partnering hopefully in the future for those kinds of things, as that's an important part of what we do at KPS too. Yes. Is doing some charity things. So Sarah, thank you. Any other questions for her? Okay, well, thank you very much for sharing. Next week I have to confirm, but on the schedule is the Herbie Husker guy. So that will be a fun thing to hear what it's like to be in that costume. Heartbreaking loss if you're doing football. Last week, volleyball seemed to have had a good week as well, but football was really disappointing, really sad for the team. I think in my personal opinion, I felt like there was improvement. So we will see what tomorrow. Northwestern always plays Nebraska tough. This is really, I should pay attention. Many of you know my Andrew is at Northwestern. So he's in his PhD program. So he has no idea what's going on with the football program. If I were to say, Andrew, how's the football team? He'd go, I don't know. So, but I guess I should be wearing purple and red since he's at Northwestern now. Does anybody know how Northwestern is as a team, or have they won? I don't know. I don't know. I went to a game there and it was the coldest game I've ever sat in. Because their stadium is just kind of like an old school stadium, which was kind of cool, but it's not that far from Michigan, the Lake Michigan. And I mean to tell you, there was no snow, no rain, but it was the coldest darn game I've ever sat at because that wind coming in off of the lake. And then I think they just got a $450 million donation to redo that stadium in Evanston. And I said that to Andrew. I said, hey, Andrew, I hear you got this big. He's like, oh, well, okay. He's worried about Spanish music history and passing a Spanish proficiency and a German proficiency test, which I'm pleased to say that he did both of those. My heavens, that would take a lot from my brain. I'd rather just work on the knitting patterns, right? Well, we'll hope for a big win. And I think there's a pattern next week. And then I think the following week is a bye week. So you won't get a pattern that week. And we won't have Husker Huddle that week. So we'll catch up we just follow the football schedule just because it's easier. I know that doesn't always. Diane, you're not coming to game.
You know what? We have tickets. We gave them to our football friends that we all sat with for years. We have a wedding.
Oh,
Now who gets married on Husker game day?
Well, I bet they're not from Nebraska.
Somebody from Kansas, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because in Nebraska, you don't get married.
No,
Very seldom.
you do not. No.
Yeah. And if you do, I've been to weddings where they got the TV set up and then you know where everybody's at. They're not participating. They're looking at, right. And then if you try to get a room, when I worked with my other company before Knit Paper Scissors, they would schedule trainings out of Dallas. And they're like, well, we can't get Lincoln on this day in the fall. Even though I had told them a number of times, you can't get a meeting room or a hotel room on these dates. You have, and then all the other ones are booked. They're booked on the off weeks because that's when everybody's having their weddings, their seminars.
Yeah.
All these things. Everybody's shaking their head like we know, don't we? Anybody been to a wedding on a Husker football Saturday? No.
Well,
no.
feel my pain tomorrow night.
Okay. Well, sorry, we'll see you next time then when you come.
Okay, thanks, Angie.
Come for town. All right, everyone, have a fabulous weekend. Always good to see you and connect. Sarah, thank you for sharing. And next Friday, we'll be moving. We're halfway through the season. I can't believe that. Halfway through. So going fast. All right, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.